My dad got me into music in general when I was a very little kid. I listened to classic rock. Like he just plied me with Led Zeppelin and Jethro Tull and Bob Dylan and the Beatles. And I went to church and I sang in like kids choir and that got me started singing. So it's been with me pretty much my whole life. Yeah, I started playing guitar and bass when I was 12, 13, and then started playing in bands in middle school. This project is a complete deviation from anything I've played before. I played in punk rock bands and post-hardcore band in college, and so I've kind of been across several genres. But anything that's big and loud and exciting is pretty much up my alley.
It all started when I went to Brazil. Just to visit an ex-girlfriend there, and she met someone that is very famous in Brazil. So I asked him like, hey, how do you learn all this? And he told me, just go to SAE, Institute of Technology, and there I took an electronic music production course where I learned most of the basics. Once I felt that I was decent, not necessarily good, but decent, I started my own student organization. And there I just taught people how to make their own music with everything that they taught me. And I remember that I was basically just learning with everyone because, like I said, they only taught me the basics. So in a way, since I didn't know what I was doing, I had to learn as I was teaching. And it was one of the best experiences ever. So I met Mark when I came to Los Angeles, and I was like, okay, he's a cool guy. He's definitely, a forward thinker. And then out of nowhere, I realized, hey, he makes music too. He came over to my place for the first time to just listen to my stuff, and then he fell in love with it.
I got brought into LunarBlvd kind of serendipitously, I guess would be the word. I met Eduardo. He just showed me the music, and I've been looking for a new project. And then within seconds of hearing what Eddie had, I knew immediately. I was like, that's the shit.
He knew a big producer in LA called Eugene. It was interesting that he had the combination of hip hop mixed with Latin music. Coming here from Venezuela, which is where I'm from, you wanted to be away from that because there was a lot of sadness, a lot of, like violence on the streets. I came here to the US because of a violent incident where basically like two guys grabbed me with guns when I was 10 years old. So after that, like you kind of like want to push back on your culture a little bit. And then he showed me, no, that's not the way. You should be proud of both your American culture and your Venezuelan culture.
So the lesson to be learned is you need like a creative, nurturing, awesome environment. So then it's your job to put in the work and somehow like keep track of all this shit and know that, okay, 32 might work here. So when it comes your time to sing, you're not just singing whatever. You're singing something he worked on while he's working. The rapper is writing at all times.
I kind of just started writing poetry at first. I was young and introverted, and the only way I could really vent my thoughts was through poetry. So I'm like, all right, this is my escape from the world. And then one of my principals was telling me and my friends, we were sitting at the lunch table, he's like, poetry is just like rap, it's the same thing, just with the rhythm and the beat. Like, as I got older and started to understand the writing process, that's really all it is. And I just kind of add my own experience and storytelling elements to it.
Two sides to your coin, too blind to avoid, ice cold to the veins.
Yeah, I've been working on music since I guess like 13 or 14 if you count the poetry writing. And like I said, I just had a bunch of tracks that were just demos, just something I recorded in Audacity, just rap into a mic and just keep the demos, hoping the Monday I could give them to somebody who would think, all right, this is dope, I'll take a chance on this dude, and Eddie was the guy.
Out of nowhere, he tells me, hey, one of my friends said that you're making something similar to what I want to do, so why don't we start working together? And then the next day, he sent me his first 4 songs. And then the next week, he sent me 5 more. And I was like, okay. Before I got to reply to him, he already sent me like 3 more. And I was like, oh my God, this guy has exactly the same dedication that I have. So I needed to work with him.
Over and over again, I would send him new stuff, and he saw the potential, and I kept hounding him, and eventually he's like, all right, let's hop in the studio. So I came over, and we kind of knocked out a few songs in the first day, and we're like, all right, there's definitely some chemistry here. And then every weekend after that, we were in the studio over and over again, something new every week.
When I heard what Chris had brought to the table, I was like, wow, this is totally groundbreaking and different than a lot of people are doing right now, but it's also right in keeping with a lot of the popular trends, you know, so like it's both accessible and groundbreaking at the same time, I thought, and I was like, this is something I've got to be a part of.
I kind of grew up listening to a lot of gritty hip hop and rap, so we have the rock influence from Mark, we have the Latin influence from Eddie, and we have the hip hop and R&B influence from me, and you know, it's just really cool to be able to bounce idea off of guys from different parts of the world, and I think that's really cool. I think that's really where it all comes from, and when you get to find your sweet spot, when you get to bounce ideas off of people who see things a little differently than you do.
Never trying new things. Should I do what you need or just go do me? I don't want to panic. Help me understand.
I guess if I had to describe it, I look at myself as a poet first and also a storyteller. So, I mean, growing up as a kid, I read a lot of books, and like I said, I wrote a lot of poetry. So naturally, my mind instantly goes to the storytelling aspects of the music. So I'm like, what is this about? Who is this about? Where are they at mentally, physically, emotionally? If you listen to the music, you see like we really want to build something that connects with people, something that speaks to them, something that actually resonates with their day-to-day life. Our pocket is the dark, trap, thought-provoking, introspective, storytelling kind of content.
We have a lot of things to bring to the table. We have a lot of experiences, a lot of divergent. We come from very divergent backgrounds, and so I think making pop music or dance music that's kind of a conversation between all of these creates a really unique flavor. Oh my God, dude! It's like this is what I think about all the time, every day, like nonstop, 24/7, always on. It's like, what can I make? What can I dream up or contribute or like piece out of reality? You know, piece out of my daily life, or what can I observe in other people that will make an interesting story? Eddie's an amazing storyteller. He's able to take ideas that Chris and I will have and help kind of piece them into an overall narrative or a sense of story for the listener.
You have to make sure to just like reach out to whatever comes your way, and anything that sounds good, just follow it. And eventually the song will create its own life, and you'll start basically like hearing what it wants it to be, and then you just create it that way. One of the things that you have to understand is it is a process of trust. You need to trust yourself today that you're gonna make the best decisions that you possibly can. Eventually you're gonna feel, hey, let me go back and let me see what I have done, like these 30, 50 songs. Let me see what in there is gold. What in there was my previous self, and what of my previous self was beautiful at its time. You just keep doing it until it feels right and you're like proud of it. Like, I think being proud of something is one of the most important things. However, there's a lot of people that are misled by that belief. You need to ensure that you don't repeat that song or that piece of your work countless times and look at it or hear it or observe it every single day, because then it becomes static in your head. So you need to ensure that you basically forget about it to the point that you can appreciate how it felt the first time when you made it. And then that's when you're gonna see it with clear eyes whether that's the best possible piece you've made. If not, then you move on to the next track and you aim for it then. We have an structure of talented people that are willing to help and are willing to work. That's the most important thing. You have to work.
And in this space too, we have so many musicians that we can encounter. You know, there's like the bedrock community is so vibrant and so giving, and it's like a big fucking family, you know. Like, I mean, from vocalists to sitarist to keyboardist, you know, there's a bunch of great energy here.
Last night we left at like 4:30 a.m. from the studio, got in at like 1 p.m. So, you know, long nights, hard work, but it's maybe the only thing that I do in life that I can do even when I'm tired, even when I'm sad. I can play some music, it makes me happy. I can write some music and free myself, free my mind. So yeah, music really is life to me.
I feel that all the pieces are in the right places. I have the opportunity to meet Eugene, which was an amazing mentor to me, and he showed me what music's truly about.
I feel awesome. It's honestly a dream come true. It's like, this is why I moved here. This is why I seek out creative, ambitious people. It's exactly what I want to be doing all the time.
Right now, this feels like the world. This is what I look forward to, you know, almost every day. There's just a beauty of collaborating to this degree that not many other industries have.
I think putting something cohesive together is very difficult to do. So I'm happy that even within a year, such a short amount of time, we've gotten so much done. I feel like we have the right mindsets and we have a diverse background of people who understand different music. So I think the sky really is the limit, and can't wait to see what happens from here.
Let's see how it sounds in real life.
Yeah. Touch me, let the candle set the mood. I'm fucked up, I'm fucked up. Clothes off, I need you right now. I'm fucked up, I'm fucked up. Love me, there's nobody else but you. I'm fucked up, I'm fucked up. Fuck me, your body gets me through. I'm fucked up.